I'd like to welcome each one here this evening. I'd like to begin our meeting by acknowledging the land on which we gather is the traditional territory of Anishinaabe, Ottawa, and Mississauga peoples. Again, I'd like to thank the staff for the reports that they have made for us for our agenda. As we went over them very well, a lot of questions we're able to ask down at Town Hall and whatnot. We just appreciate that. And along with this, we'd like to just welcome Kelly Seiss for our new Director of Recreation and Children's Services. We welcome you here. And beside Kelly is our interim fire chief, Mr. Chad Krager. Again, welcome, Chad. We know Chad for many years of working with the fire around town here and whatnot. So welcome, Chad. I'd like to call this confirmation of the agenda that the Council of the Township of North Huron hereby approves the agenda March 4th, 2024 council meeting as presented. May I have a mover? Councillor Whitfield, Councillor Wright, all in favor? Carried. Disclosure of pecuniary interest and the general nature thereof. Seeing none. This is an opportunity for members of the public to speak to any item of business on the agenda. 2 minutes per person, and member wishing to speak will need to state their name and the item of business that they wish to speak to. Is there any comment tonight? Come ahead. What? Excuse.
There we are. Rachel King from the Blythe Festival. Further to tonight's report regarding township flower tender results, Blythe Festival encourages council to approve the tender bid indicated in tonight's report. 2024 is the 50th anniversary season of the Blythe Festival. This momentous occasion will see up to 30,000 tourists from across the continent attend the village of Blythe in the township of North Huron and experience the streetscape that council chooses this evening. The first goal of the township strategic plan includes building a stronger economy through tourism. Growth in tourism requires attention to destination hygiene, including things like identifying, fixing, and enhancing physical visitor experience issues. A key piece of that destination hygiene is maintaining the presence of flowers in the township's downtowns. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rachel. Seeing no one else, we'll move on to number 5, consent agenda, that the Council of the Township of North Huron hereby adopts consent item 5.11, and further that the Council of the Township of North Huron hereby receives consent items 5.1.2 to 5.3.6 for information purposes. May I have a mover? Councillor Van Hitterson, seconder. Councillor Whitfield. Are there any that anybody would like to pull forward? Go ahead, Councillor Van Hitterson.
I would like to take out item 5.3.1, the Oswald Bayfield Conservation Authority, about the drinking water source protection regarding the rural wells. I would like to send us a letter of support to the entities they declared at the bottom, if that's possible, that we keep our well testing for rural wells free of charge and easily accessible for everybody.
Thank you very much. Councillor Palmer, please.
Yeah, I had that one as well, and I echo the sentiments of Anita. Yeah.
Thank you.
So looking to the mover and the seconder of that motion, to see if a friendly amendment is okay. And your motion would be that the Council of the Township of North Huron hereby adopts consent item 5.1.1, and further that the Council of the Township of North Huron hereby receives consent items 5.1.2 to 5.3.6, exclusive of 5.3.1 for information purposes.
8, 3, 2. All in favor? Carry.
So then your second motion would be that the Council of the Township of North Huron hereby directs staff to send a letter of support for agenda item 5.3.1.
Mover, Councillor Van Hitterson, Councillor Palmer. All in favor? Carry. At this time, we're going to go to public meetings. Number 6.1, Joe Carter, Wingham Homecoming 2024 update on the Wingham Homecoming. Welcome, Mr. Carter.
Push it. Perfect. So I'm going to put on my hat, not out of disrespect, but so people can see, sorry, William Homecoming. There we go. So now, because I know the camera's behind me. For those of you who aren't familiar with myself and my wife Heidi, we're the folks who took over organizing William Homecoming 2024. Still the same dates, June 28th to July the 1st. Actually, we moved it back to June 27th because there's a lot of events going on. We're not going to go through the entire presentation because I did that presentation for the Lions last week. It ran about 15 to 20 minutes, and I want to just keep it as quick as possible. Did everybody have a chance to kind of go through it? Perfect. So I can answer any questions that you might have. The one thing that you do need to keep in mind is that there is no homecoming committee. It's just myself and my wife. We organized homecoming, and many Wingham organizations and groups, they came forward and said, yep, we'll do this, we'll do this, we'll do this. And one event's actually sold out within 2 weeks, and that would be the Sportsman's Club cornhole tournament. And so, yeah, they're completely booked. So we do have many, maybe working on it. That's okay. That's okay. Switch to the next one. So we do have many or two organizations that are doing our decorations, which is Lewis Flowers and House of Bloom. We do have two businesses that are doing the apparel, which is what I'm wearing now. You can get the nice hoodie, you can get a hat, and there's also t-shirts, and they come with one logo or both logos. And so there's the Flying Pig logo for Wingham. And then there's this one here, which is the when we became a town and when we became actually a village. Just keep going. Yeah, so it's all up there. We'll just keep going. There's that, and we'll keep going. The next one. Now, what we did was we actually became a subcommittee of the Lions. And the reason we became a subcommittee of the Lions are one of two reasons. One, I have a mutual fund license, and by law, I can't hold any money on behalf of any organizations. So the Wingham Lions are kind enough to make us a subcommittee. We've created a account with the Wingham Lions. Any money that does come in for homecoming will sit with the Wingham Lions. So anything that needs to be paid gets paid by the Wingham Lions. But instead of in 5 years, if we're going to do a townwide 150th celebration, or in 10 years, another homecoming, we're going to have at least maybe some seed money to sit in that account that has been sitting there for the last 10 years, and at GIC rates might have a little bit extra. Okay, so that's why we do have the Wingham Lions. Now, the Wingham Lions does have the North Huron logo on it. I pulled that from their Facebook site. I know that the municipality doesn't have any ties with the Wingham Lions, so we'll edit that later on, just so you know. All right, keep going. We do have plenty of events on Thursday, Friday. We won't go through all of them because there's just so many. Go to the next one, is the next Saturday events. And yep, and there's Monday. And we're going to wrap things up, hopefully. And Chad, can you confirm? Firefighters have fireworks July 1st? Awesome. So the firefighters will have their annual Canada Day fireworks at the Ball Diamond. There we go. So right now, everything has come out of the Joe Carter Retirement Fund, and that retirement fund is getting pretty low. So we've used money to pay for and put down deposits for advertisement for the Wingham Silver Stick, the signs that we used on our van for the parade, also any permits and deposits that needed to be done. Next one. And right now, the only thing that hasn't been paid for is the kids' activities, which comes to about $6,000. That's not why I'm here, but just so you know that that's the only one that hasn't been sponsored. We haven't gone out to local businesses to get sponsorship yet. I was trying to see if we could do this without costing businesses anything, right? Because you can say we're going to ask a business for sponsorship, but that's the politically correct term. You're going to a business to ask them for money, right? And after you go to business, they get tapped out after every sort of donation. So I'm trying to see if we can do this without tapping out the businesses. And I've put in some requests to different organizations that do have funding. Hopefully I'll hear back from them in 2 or 3 weeks before we get sponsors. What I am here for is to say thank you to North Huron Council, and more specifically, representatives of North Huron Council. That would be Denise Lockey. She's been great with helping us organize. Also Rochelle Gary, Reeve Heffer, thank you very much for your help, as well as Councillor Whitfield and Councillor Wright. They've been in contact and just been a great source of information and help. Next one, there we go. So right now, reason why I'm here is we have kids' activities planned throughout on Saturday, and that's the Bouncy Castle. But we also have a free swim at the public schools, or sorry, at the public pool, which is scheduled for Thursday. There's a free swim scheduled for Friday. That actually is the dates that I pulled off from the 2023 calendar. You have there a public swim. I just turned it into a free swim. What I'm asking council for is to waive the fee of the public swim, so it can be just turned into a free swim for Wingham Homecoming. The other event that we do have is a Saturday night dance, and the arena rental is $566, which is the charity rate. There's also a Sunday morning church service at the arena, and the rental again, $566. We're still wondering, or still confirming whether it should be at the complex, because Sue's got a brunch on Sunday morning, but I think that's going to be a little tight to have a church service and then a brunch. So hopefully if we could get the arena on Saturday, church service at the arena, go straight over, brunch on a Sunday. So what I'm here to ask council is, instead of giving money, could we please waive the fees for the public swim on Friday or Thursday, public swim on Saturday or Friday, and then the 2 arena rentals, one for the dance on Saturday and one for the church service on Sunday. The Belgrave Kinsmen, they have actually stepped in, and they're going to do all the organization for the Saturday night dance. They all have their smart serve. They've done an arena dance before. It was just a great fit to have them come in and do it. The Belgrave Kinsmen would pay the $566 for the arena fee, except the money that they make, it goes back into the community anyway. I attended their meeting just before Christmas. When I asked them, they're donating to the Salvation Army, they're donating to women's shelters, they're donating to kids programs, they're donating to minor hockey, Silver Stick. They are contributing to North Huron. It's not just Belgrave. So my request would be, could we please waive the 4 fees there for Wingham Homecoming? I think that's it. Yeah, that's it.
Thanks very much, Joel. Appreciate that, and I appreciate both the work that you and Heidi have been doing, and a lot I see you've been doing behind the scenes, seeing these different days in this program out. So at this time, I'm putting forward to council. Are there any questions for council for Joel, please? Oh, you must have satisfied everybody.
Perfect.
Go ahead, Councillor Palmer, please.
Yeah, it's not a question, Joe. I'm very pleased that you and Heidi took this on. I think I can speak for all of us. Monumental task. I'd like to make a motion, though, that that North Huron sponsor. I just want to sponsor something, because we need to have some skin in the game, I feel. And I what was suggested was with the 2 swims and the arena rentals. Be nice if we could waive that and help out in the cause.
Okay, I'll pass over to Clerk Lamb, please.
Yep, so your motion would be that the council of the township of North Huron hereby agrees to sponsor the 2 free swims, the Saturday night dance, and the Sunday church service by waiving the facility rental fees. So you have Councillor Palmer as a mover, and you're looking for a seconder.
Looking for a seconder there. Councillor Wright. Discussion? Seeing none. All in favor? Carried.
Thank you very much, folks.
Thank you very much, Joel. Appreciate that. Staff reports, 7.1, 7.11, CL 2024-05, implementation of document commissioning policy. Are there any questions here for Clerk Lamb? Okay, that the council of the township of North Huron hereby receives the report of the Director of Services/Clerk dated March 4th, 2024 regarding the implementation of a document commissioning policy for information purposes, and further, that council directs the Director of Legislative Services/Clerk to prepare a bylaw to adopt the document commissioning policy for the March 18th, 2024 council meeting. May I have a mover? Councillor McBurney, Deputy Reeve. Any questions? All in favor? Carried. 7.1.2. That the council of the Township of North Huron hereby receives a report of Deputy Clerk/Planning Coordinator dated March 4th, 2024 regarding the implementation of pre-consultation bylaw for information purposes. And further, that council directs the Deputy Clerk Planning Coordinator to present the pre-consultation bylaw for adoption at the March 18th, 2024 regular council meeting. May I have a mover? Councillor Van Hitterson, Councillor Whitfield, are there any questions for Clerk Lamb? Seeing none, all in favor? Carried. 7.1.3, that the council of the Township of North Huron hereby receives a report of Deputy Clerk/Planning Coordinator dated March 4th, 2024 regarding an update to the Site Plan Control Bylaw for information purposes. And further, that council approves update to the Site Plan Control Bylaw for the Township of North Huron under section 41(2) of the Planning Act as presented. And further, that council directs the Deputy Clerk Planning Coordinator to prepare an update Site Plan Control Bylaw for the March 18th, 2024 regular meeting. May I have a mover? Deputy Reeve, Councillor McBurney. Are there any questions for Clerk Lamb? Again, seeing none, all in favor? Carried. 7.3, Recreation Child Service Department. Not at this meeting. 7.4, Public Works and Facilities Department. 7.4.1, Public Works 2024-09 Township Flower Tender Reports. We've all read this over. I'd like to ask for a mover and a seconder. Councillor Wright. Deputy Reeve. Okay, are there any questions for Director Fortney? Seeing none, all in favor? Oh, sorry, was there a question down here? Sorry, Councillor Palmer, I missed that.
Yeah, it wasn't quite a question. I'm glad you sent out a little more explanation, because when I saw the figure, it didn't seem to add up from what I could tell. So that really helped. Thank you.
Yeah. All in favor? Carried. Fire Department, nothing. 7.6, Office of CAO. 8.1, County of Huron, Huron County Population Housing Projections Study, Final Report and Video. And at this time, I'd like to have a mover. Councillor Van Hitterson, seconder. Councillor Wright. This time we have Planner Hallman here. Are there any questions for Planner Hallman? I know it's a big report there, and I know she's going to be bringing something too that's going to deal precisely with North Huron part of it. Again, a lot of questions in there, or pages of lots of facts and figures there. And so again, we're asking her that the Council of the Township of North Huron hereby directs the planner to prepare a follow-up report in consultation with the township staff on how North Huron can make use of the data collected in the population housing projection study. Again, any questions for, go ahead, Councillor Wright, please.
Yeah, thank you, through you, Reeve. I guess my only question is, you know, there's a strong projection of population growth for Huron County. But you have to build stock, you have to build capacity, right? If the housing isn't built, there's no place for people to move into. So I'm just wondering how do you draw that connection, right? How do you make sure local municipalities who are all working independently of each other build, you know, zone it residential, get the land ready so that houses can be built, so that people actually have a place to move to? Because if we don't build the stock, the population can't grow. right? So it's just a question. I don't know if our planner can answer that or if that's too theoretical.
Go ahead, Hannah, please. Thank you.
Thank you for having me this evening, Council. Through the Reeve, yeah, good question. And in my follow-up report, we will elaborate on how we intend to use it. And I think, yeah, you raised some very good points. Primarily how we'll use it is, for example, during our official plan reviews, we do a comprehensive review to make sure there's available land. The population projections for that are directly inputted into that. What was very helpful also for our department was knowing what the demand will be in terms of the unit type. So how can we make our policies a little more flexible so that there's more flexibility to have options for the medium or high density? The report also helped to reiterate if our density targets for new greenfield development are appropriate, which they were in line with what our department was thinking. So that was very helpful. And then in terms of other services, we anticipate, for example, BM Ross, when they do their water and wastewater projections in terms of capital planning, we anticipate this would be an input into that just to make sure that that's also being a consideration. But we can definitely elaborate on that in the follow-up report.
Great. Appreciate that. That's good. Okay, go
Yeah,
ahead.
just as a follow-up comment, I actually think the growth projections are understated a bit. I mean, I'm not an expert, but Saugeen Shores added 550 units last year. So that's one municipality in Bruce County. So I certainly think 180 for the whole county is more than doable. Thank you.
Were there any other questions for our planner at all from any of the council members? Okay, seeing none, is say we're looking forward to that report. Planner Hallman for sure, and I'm sure there'll be some questions at that time. Again, so I have a mover and a seconder, all in favor. Carried. 8.2, Huron Pioneer Threshers and Hobby Association, letter, standby medical coverage and food truck license fees. I just want to read this, what we're a statement here that the Council of the Township of North Huron hereby refers the request of Huron Pioneer Threshers and Hobby Association regarding standby medical coverage and food truck license fees to staff to be discussed as part of the ongoing renewal agreement negotiations. May I have a mover and a seconder before we open it up? Deputy Reeve, followed by Councillor McBurney. Okay, at this time, we'll ask questions that can maybe go to our Mr. Furtney. If you have any questions at all? I know we're waiting. He's going to have a meeting with that group on March the 11th. So I know a lot, this is what we're sort of leaving for him to come up with follow-ups with that from after that. So if there's no questions, then we'll ask for all in favor. Carried. Council reports, the Reeves activity report, was a bit quiet.
Through your worship, that was all dealt with in that motion.
Reeves activity report, the coldest night of the year event. It went very well in the town here, and I know down in Blythe they did too. Again, it went really well. They raised around 20,000 for the red door that's open to the people that are in need at those 3 days a week there, and it's just appreciated by those that partake in it and those that helped out with it. Just very much appreciated. Okay, 9.2, council member board and committee reports, verbal or written updates from members who sit on boards and committees. Are there any from anyone? Go ahead, Councillor Whitfield, please.
Yeah, I was at the Sustainable Huron meeting there on Friday. And a lot of that stuff is covered here under Denise Van Amersfoort's write-up. But like, as they're saying with the housing that's going on and everything, South Huron and Goderich were catching most of it as being a little bit larger towns, being closer to London, stuff like that. They were picking up a lot of the housing, the medium and the higher density with departments and everything that were going in. there was a lot of talk about the apartments and the densities and everything that was going on, but as Mitch, Councilor Mitch Wright said, we gotta be ready for it to come here. And so we gotta get something on the go. So if we could get that on the go, as you're saying, like we need the parks, the soccer fields, we need recreation, we need our infrastructure and everything in place for that. So, and that's what they talk about. You gotta be ready, shovel ready for when these people come around. So we gotta carry on with that. Like we do have a new subdivision here with the 72 or 73 apartments downtown and the Hutton Heights, which is ongoing. They were looking for more short-term housing. Like rental apartments on a short-term thing. They were talking about that at this thing, stewardship funding for conservation. They're talking about Exeter having a job board that you can drive by and see some jobs on the board that you can apply for too. They thought that was a really good idea, having that sitting up on their town as you're coming into town for their. They also have it on the Huron County website. There's lots of information on the jobs and everything with that. The mental health was a big thing they talked about. And other than that, that was about it that was covered. A lot of it, as I said, with the other write-up we have from Denise Van Amersfoort. It was a very good meeting. A lot of information was passed around.
Thank you, Councillor Whitfield. Okay, comments by members. Anybody have anything they'd like to add? Seeing none. Any notice of motions? Seeing none. Bylaws. 10.1. Bylaw number 12-2024, acceptance of donations and fundraising policy. May I have a mover? Deputy Reeve, Councillor Wright, all in favor? Carried. Bylaw number 13-2024, maintenance of boundary roads agreement with Morse Turnberry. May I have a mover? Councillor Van Hitterson, Councillor McBurney, all in favor? Carried. Bylaw number 14-2024, appointment of interim fire chief. May I have a mover? Councillor Palmer, Councillor Wright, all in favor? 10.4, bylaw 15, carried. 10.4, 15-24, appointment of interim deputy fire chief. May I have a mover? Councillor Whitfield, Deputy Reeve, all in favor? Carried. Bylaw number 16-2024, appointment of deputy treasurer. May I have a mover? Deputy Councillor McBurney, Councillor Palmer, all in favor? Carried. Next meetings and announcements. The next regular council meeting will be held Monday, March 18th, 2024 at 6 p.m. in the North Huron Council Chambers. The next Wingham BIA board meeting will be held on Thursday, March 21, 2024 at 6:30 in the Hot Stove Lounge at North Huron West Cast Community Complex. And the Blythe BIA annual general meeting has been rescheduled due to the inclement weather and will be held on Thursday, March 14th, 2024 at 8 a.m. in the Blythe and District Community Center. And the next Blythe BIA board meeting will be held on Thursday, March 28th, 2024 at 8 a.m. in the Blythe and District Community Center. Are there any other announcements? Seeing none. Other business, over the next page. 12.1, deferral business, Huron OPP Detachment Board appointment. We need to make an appointment. Clerk Lamb, could you discuss this, please?
Yes, thank you, Your Worship. So as council's aware, this item was deferred at the last council meeting. At this time, I need council's appointment of who you want your council representative to be to sit on that detachment board. The report had a lot of context on what that would look like, but also was still pretty open-ended as to what that looks like in regard to training and timelines, since we are at the whims of the ministry on that, but we're looking to have an appointment in place so that when the ministry does make that announcement, we are ready to go and we can put that person or that appointee into the required training.
Last meeting, it was, at our last meeting, it was mentioned for Councillor Van Hittersum if she wanted to accept it, and she was given till this week to state whether she was or wasn't.
Yes, thank you very much, Reeve. Yeah, I have some, I've had some more information, talked to people at previous police boards, and I'm willing to be would be honored to be the appointee for North Huron at the OPP Detachment Board.
Okay, thank you. Do you want to read?
Yep, so that would put the following motion on the floor, that the Council of the Township of North Huron hereby appoints Councillor Van Hittersum to the Huron County OPP Detachment Board, effective as of the date when the Community Safety and Policing Act 2019 comes into force, and further that council directs the Director of Legislative Services / clerk to prepare an updated appointment of members to boards and committees bylaw for the March 18th, 2024 regular meeting.
I have a mover. Councillor McBurney, Councillor Palmer, all in favor? Carried. No closed meeting in confirmatory bylaw number 17-2024. Confirmatory bylaw. May I have a mover? Councillor Whitfield, Councillor Wright, all in favor? Carried. Adjournment. That the Council of the Township of North Huron agrees that there being no further business before council, March 4th, 2024 regular council meeting be hereby adjourned at 6:32. Councillor McBurney, seconder, Councillor Wright, all in favor?